Hi, I'm Luminousz Star. Welcome to the channel. My current subscribers. Mwah. Thank you guys and gals so much for being my stars. If this is your first time visiting Luminousz Star, welcome and please join the Star family by selecting the subscription button below. Also below, check out the description box for further details to today's video, which is beware that the narcissist never forgives the interruption of the power dynamic. Please like and share today's video. First point, those who end the dysfunctional relationship with narcissists first tend to interrupt the power dynamic of narcissists. He or she does not see others as humans having free will to make choices in life. The narcissist often views others as property belonging to him or her. Basically, narcissists see other people like game pieces on a game board to be maneuvered at will. The narcissist has no problem devaluing others, discarding others, leaving the damage behind and never looking back. The narcissist has no problem with that. Even though if this is a romantic situation, he or she may look back, okay, but only to recycle to get more narcissistic supply. All right, so they're not coming back because they love and care so much. They're coming back to get more narcissistic supply. So those who end the dysfunctional relationship first, they tend to interrupt that power dynamic. The narcissist finds this unforgivable. They never tend to get over that. Some of you are going through this right now, or you just went through it. Okay, because the narcissist, again, they see other people as property. They think that you or anyone else is their property. They don't think that other people have free will to make choices in life. The false image of the narcissist is threatened and challenged by anyone daring to end the dysfunctional relationship, ending the emotional rape and violence. This is when the mask slips off, and the narcissist may express anger by way of narcissistic injury. This rage that is expressed by the narcissist can leave many devastated, shocked, and traumatized. This is very true. A lot of people are giving testimony now. Okay, their testimony is a horrible story of a person who has been emotionally raped. They have been violently emotionally raped. They have been facing violence because some narcissists, they make good on their threats. In other words, they don't make idle threats. Okay, vandalism has been committed. I mean, all sorts of things by narcissists and because of their personalities. When that mask slipped off, they were a whole different person. When that mask slips off, a person sees the side of the narcissist that sometimes does leave him or her not only devastated and shocked, but traumatized. The false self-image of the narcissist is threatened and is challenged when anybody dares to end the dysfunctional relationship, whenever they stand up to the narcissist to end the emotional rape and violence against him or her. See, they're seen as a threat and a challenge to the false self-image, and the narcissist cannot have that. This is when the mask also slips off, and you see that narcissistic rage come through. Next point. The narcissistic injury, which is the narcissist's way of expressing rage in an abusive manner, hoping to damage others, often goes under the radar by others on the outside looking in. So the narcissist is very good at camouflaging or secretly traumatizing and abusing and misusing others. They're very good at it. They know how to go stealth. They know how to go up under the radar. So people on the outside looking in, it may look like your relationship is quite natural or normal. All right? To the casual observer, there's nothing wrong. But you know better. Okay? So the narcissists, they're very good at injuring others or damaging others or abusing others. When that mask slips off and there's narcissistic rage. When the narcissist expresses rage after the mask has slipped off, you best believe that he or she is hoping to do damage. That's their aim, because they want to punish the person for daring to challenge him or her, simply because he or she ended their dysfunctional relationship. They went no contact or what have you. See, the narcissist and the cluster personality, they don't forgive people for being the one who got away. They tend to not forgive that because they weren't able to successfully obtain narcissistic supply from him or her. That person woke up and they dodged a bullet, so to speak. Okay, the narcissist doesn't like that. They usually don't forgive that, ever. Let's move forward. There are some who become afraid of the narcissist, increasing their tactics for narcissistic supply. Due to their loyalty to their false self-image, the narcissist may do anything necessary to ensure that their strong sense of control and superiority is repaired. Narcissists have very little tolerance for those who challenge their false self-image. It usually does not matter to narcissists that others may be attempting to salvage their overall well-being due to the adverse effects of narcissistic abuse. The power dynamic must always be in his or her favor. Narcissists tend to loathe change. Therefore, if detected, he or she may increase their shenanigans for narcissistic supply if going no contact is being contemplated. So just be forewarned. Anyone who is contemplating going no contact or ending the dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist or cluster B personality, just know that he or she is not going to take it lightly. Okay, now this is not to discourage you from thriving forward. Just be forewarned. Okay, so it doesn't matter to the narcissist that others may be wanting to salvage their own life or their livelihood. They don't care about that. They are only loyal to their false self-image. All right, so the power dynamic must always be in his or her favor, no matter who, no matter what. So the narcissist does tend to loathe change. Their false self-image is usually threatened by change, is usually challenged by change. And due to their predatory natures, narcissists and cluster B personalities tend to detect if there's any changes or shifts in the relationship. Just think about an animal who's out on the hunt or on the prowl. Okay, so when they are zeroing in on a particular prey, any type of different movements of that prey, type of shift or change within that prey, the predator is going to notice it because they're hunting. They have to keep a close eye. They have to be very watchful. So any type of change or shift in the dysfunctional relationship, due to the predatory nature of a narcissist and personality, they're going to detect it. And they're going to be prepared to intercept it. Just beware of this. Next point. If one is successful with going no contact or leaving the dysfunctional relationship before the narcissist has been successful in causing him or her real harm, the narcissist never forgives this because they see it as an unforgivable offense that must be punished. Not only that, the narcissist sees that as failure. The narcissist doesn't like to fail. They don't like to lose. Narcissists and cluster B personalities are the biggest sore losers you will ever meet. So if they're not successful in doing you some real harm and damage, I know that sounds twisted, but we're talking about a narcissist here. We're talking about a cluster B personality. If they are not successful in doing what they aim to do, and that is to cause you some real harm, they're not going to forgive you for that. They're not going to let that go very easily. And I don't care how many years go by, if they see you again, and if they think they can get some more out of you, narcissistic supply that is, they're going to pick up where they left off. If they haven't seen you in a while, and if this is a romantic situation, and they're interested in recycling, they're going to come off very nice and seductive and charming at first. But that mask will slip off because they haven't forgiven you for being the one who got away. All right? They don't forgive this. They never forget it either, but they don't like to fail. When they set out to use and abuse somebody, that's exactly what they want to do. And they don't forgive people who interrupt that pattern. In other words, the power dynamic has been interrupted. It has shifted. And they don't forgive that. Narcissists never forgive that. They don't forget that either. Tool number 1, practice self-preservation, assertion, emotional discipline, and personal boundaries. The narcissist does not practice all of these, nor will he or she respect that you have chosen to practice mindfulness. Because see, this is a narcissist repellent. Practicing self-preservation, assertion, emotional discipline, and personal boundaries is the best narcissist repellent that you may find. And it is a game changer because the narcissist does not want you to be able to shift the power dynamic. In other words, they want to be able to use you the way they see fit. All right, I know that may sound a little, disgusting to some of you and twisted, because it is. The narcissist simply wants to use people the way they want to use people without any consequences. So the narcissist does not practice mindfulness. They don't practice all of these. One of the things that the narcissist does practice from mindfulness is self-preservation. The narcissist is all about self. When it comes to assertion, the narcissist does the opposite. They're more aggressive. Okay, so they don't mind doing what they need to do in order to obtain the source supply. So they know how to turn on the charm. They're like a chameleon. They know how to switch up because they're hunters. The narcissists and cluster personalities, they have a predatory nature. So they know how to camouflage. They know how to switch up. They know how to circle in on their prey. So they will practice self-preservation. When it comes to assertion, they do the opposite. They tend to be more aggressive, not assertive. Emotional discipline, they have none because they don't know how to emotionally regulate. They lack emotional discipline. When it comes to personal boundaries, they hate it. They detest it. The narcissists and cluster personalities, they don't invest in healthy relationships. Personal boundaries is the first that has to go. Okay, so by you practicing mindfulness, which consists of all of these, the narcissist will not respect that. They will look to tear that down. This also shifts the power dynamic in your favor, and they don't like that. Okay, all right, next tool. Research what your options are to obtain support for the aftermath of narcissistic abuse. Take steps to become relentless when it pertains to your overall well-being. Yes, I am going to advocate becoming relentless when it comes to pertaining your own overall well-being. In other words, practice mindfulness. Not only that, have a support base. Be relentless when it comes to your own livelihood. Defend and honor your life without apology. I am an advocate for that. You have to become relentless sometime when it comes to something that is this positive. The narcissist and cluster personality, they are relentless when it comes to the opposite. That is to be destructive, not only to themselves, but to others. So research what your options are to obtain support for the aftermath of narcissistic abuse. I understand that there are some counselors out here that they are becoming more of an expert when it comes to being able to support those who have gone through narcissistic abuse, while there are other counselors who are not an expert in this. There are support groups. However, I want to forewarn, please do your research about narcissistic abuse before you go to a support group that advertises that they can support. Some of these support groups, they advertise that they can support others who have gone through narcissistic abuse, but it turns out that they are not able to support such individuals. Okay, now we have to be careful about this. I've done my research and I'm still doing research. Find out what your options are. I have a support base, and yes, it is expanded. When it comes to you doing your research, beware that there are some groups out here that will have false advertising. Okay, they are saying that they can support, but they cannot. And a support group may not be the best thing to do. You may need a life coach. You may be better off having a mentor. So research what your options are. Tool number 3, discontinue negotiating, complying, and being emotionally available to the narcissist and or cluster personality. In the eyes of narcissists, others are property to be idealized, devalued, and discarded. This is something that a lot of us know plenty about when it comes to the narcissist and the cluster personality. Okay, so discontinue trying to comply and negotiate. Okay, so they don't forgive the power dynamic being shifted over in your favor. They don't like that. They don't agree with it, because right from the start, they're trying to make sure that that never happens. So when it came to shifting the power dynamic in your favor, did you not notice that he or she began to increase their narcissistic supply shenanigans, they increased it. They started pulling more shenanigans for the narcissistic supply to get you back in line. Some of you already have experienced this. So when that power dynamic shifted in your favor, didn't the narcissist show his or her true colors? So don't try to negotiate. Don't try to comply. Don't try to be emotionally available to him or her, thinking that your love, your respect, your admiration, you're validating him or her, you're trying to work with him or her in the relationship is going to soften them. It will not. Because the power dynamic has been interrupted. The narcissist never forgives that. The cluster B personality does not ever forgive that. They hold grudges for a long period of time. The narcissists and cluster B personalities are the biggest sore losers you will ever meet. Okay, they never forgive anything. They don't ever forget that you were the one that got away, or you were the one that was smart enough to see him or her for who they really are and what they really represent before they were able to do some real damage in your life. Okay, so it's best to just stay away from them. Don't try to negotiate. Discontinue being available to him or her. There's a vicious cycle of idealization, devaluation, and being discarded. That is the main MO or signature mark of a narcissist and cluster B personality. References and resources. Please check out the references and resources below. I'm Luminousz Star. I want to thank everyone for joining me today or tonight.